What's the deal, YouTube? It's your boy Next Gen 720, and I am back with another video. This here's my uh, recap of the Deontay Wilder versus Artur Szpilka fight. A lot of you guys asking me, I wasn't even going to do a video on this, but I said, I'm going to get into a video. Be honest with you, the fight planned out just the way I expected it, besides that crazy, crazy knockout. I was kind of leaning for Artur Szpilka. I'm sorry, Artur Szpilka, yeah, to win the fight because he's more technically sound. I think, to be honest with you, it was an exciting fight, but I think Deontay Wilder got kind of exposed in that fight. And just hear me out. I know a lot of people jumping up and down and praising uh, Deontay Wilder on that sensational knockout, but I'm what you call a student of the game. And I look at little things like his balance, seeing his footing. Um, he has terrible balance, terrible. Like he was throwing his right hand, he was falling down. Like he was making a lot of amateur mistakes. Like his punching power is taking, it's getting him by, getting him over. You know what I mean? It's like once you find somebody that can take that big right hand, um, what are you gonna do then? Like literally, he was literally falling down a few times when he was throwing that right hand. Like he's throwing his right hand, bringing his back foot with him. Like little things, he's throwing like these wild okey doke haymakers. Like, and it's crazy because he has a pretty good coach. Mark Breland. I don't know who the white guy is, but Mark Breland, I know him personally. He's be at Red Brick Gym when he had Dominique Gwynn and Anthony Hanshaw, in East North, New Jersey. That's when I met him, and Mark Breland's probably one of the best amateurs that well, one of the best amateurs in the world at the time. He won a gold medal with the Olympics, broke several records, was a two-time champion at welterweight and at junior welterweight. So like he knows the game, and like he's been with Deontay Wilder for a while, and he's still making a lot of amateur mistakes. Like he does not fight well going back with the back foot. Like he seems very uncomfortable when he has to go backwards. Throwing his right hand, chin up in the air. And I think with Deontay Wilder, if his handlers are smart, because like to me, he looked at, like, don't get me wrong, he had a sensational knockout. But if he didn't get that knockout, my God, he made, I'm seeing the fight to me was about even, but he made that fight a lot harder than what it had to be because he doesn't know how to use his God-given talent, his size, his height. He needs to get with somebody like a Lennox Lewis or someone that can teach him how to fight like a big man, to work beyond his jab. You know what I mean? He just banking everything on his hard right hand, which is a Scud missile. It's a nuclear bomb. Artur Szpilka got caught. He's a southpaw. He was like kind of throw, like I believe it was like a left leaping like hook, and his chin was up in the air, and he got caught with a right hand that he didn't see. Now then they killed Artur Szpilka. Like he was out cold for a few seconds. Like what I mean, like like lights went out. Like they all took him out. He was aware when they took him out of the ring, and he was saying like I'm okay now. I don't think they did that more for sure. But it was a brutal knockout. Like he was gone. Like you ain't had to count. You can kiss the baby on him. But like I said again, if when he starts to fight the upper echelon of heavyweights, somebody that can take that power, what is he going to do? Like he was like making amateur mistakes, like throwing his right hand, chin up in the air, bringing his back foot for him. Like what I mean, like I was taught, like from a student in the game that when I see a lot of fighters make this mistake today that they have their back foot. There's me. I was always taught to box on the ball of my foot. You know what I mean? You look at somebody like Trinidad. When he used to fight, Trinidad was always on the ball of his back foot. Floyd Mayweather too. He's always on the ball of his back foot. Deontay Wilder's foot's way in the back, way wide leg stance. His balance is horrible, man. And like I said, he has a excellent, uh, trainer in Mark Breland, who was he was an excellent boxer in his prime. He says, he needs to get with someone, I would like, who would probably do some, if Emmanuel Stewart was here, who did wonders for the Klitschko's, who did wonders for Lennox Lewis' career. If Emmanuel Stewart was still alive, someone to teach him how to use his asses, how to fight like a big man. You know what I mean? He doesn't know how to. He banks everything on that big right hand. Even when he was landing, because he landed a few clean right hands, he didn't come back with a left hook at all. You know what I mean? Like I said, when he was fighting the southpaw, and one of the best weapons to fighting the southpaw is the lead right hand. Come back with the left hook. You know what I mean? Me personally, like I had a lot of speed in my prime. So me personally, I would like to leave my left foot inside there, right foot, and I can jab him. You know what I mean? It's kind of hard, difficult to jab a southpaw, but not really for me. I was able to, like, I just like to leave my foot in the middle and jab him, or knock their right hand down and come over with my jab, slap their right hand down, come over with the jab. But like I said in the day, I know he started boxing late at the age of 19, but he went to the Olympics. You know what I mean? Like I said, with a heavyweight, it doesn't take, you don't have to be as skillful. All you need is a little pretty decent chin and be able to punch, and you can go places. Like he started boxing at 19, went to the Olympics. Actually, he was the last American fighter to win a medal for the states. He won a bronze, I believe, in China. But like I said, after the fight, you had Tyson Fury hop in the ring. Like I said, it was crazy because Deontay Wilder, his personality, like I said, he's 36-0, 35 knockouts, a big personality. You can sell him. It's not hard to promote him. Then you got Tyson Fury hopped in the ring, and they was going back, and they was going back and forth. He was screaming "Bomb Squad!" So of course that's going to be the next big fight that's brewing. But Tyson Fury has to fight Klitschko on a rematch, and Deontay Wilder has to fight his mandatory Alex Povetkin. You know what I mean? Alexander Povetkin. And I'm be honest with you, I do not see Deontay Wilder beating him unless he catches him with some hard right hands and gets him out of there early. Alexander Povetkin is a smaller heavyweight, but he's skillful, who know how to fight and work on the inside. Another thing Deontay Wilder is missing from his arsenal, he does not know how to fight in the inside whatsoever. He's looking to get a clean break. You get somebody that's going to get in the inside and his chest, snatch his hands down and start, whacking around the body. Like, I'm going to be honest with you. David Hay making Hayes made his comeback yesterday. First round knockout. Actually, there's a clip of David Hay sparring Deontay Wilder on YouTube, looking, and then it knocks Deontay Wilder out. I do not see Deontay Wilder beat somebody like a David Hay. But don't get me wrong, Deontay Wilder, what makes him exciting when he always has a punch chance. He can punch. Like, he motherfucker punches like a mule. So he's always a live dog in the fight, you know what I mean? So that's what he has going for him. His height, even though he's doesn't know how to use his height usefully, you know what I mean? He doesn't have, like, somebody with that tall, 6 foot something, and he had like a jab, like, and with that right hand, like, skip through the forest, you know what I mean? But, like, he does not know how to use his height properly. Like, he needs to get with somebody else, you know what I mean? Because someone like that, to me, he showed a lot of flaws in his defense yesterday. He does not have to fight off, going backwards. His balancing, his footing is horrible. Would he ever be somebody like, to me, like a Luis Ortiz? No. He's too technically sound and can punch. You know what I mean? I don't see him beating somebody like Brian Jennings. Even Brian Jennings is another heavyweight who got a late start in boxing, but is better fundamentally. You know what I mean? Even though he has 2 losses, he lost to Klitschko and he's got knocked out by Luis Ortiz. He has fought in a better opposition than Deontay Wilder, to being honest. He gave Artur Szpilka his first loss. Honestly, Brian Jennings, he was the first person to stop Artur Szpilka. It was a good fight too, though. But again, I'm being honest, even though he's 36-0, 35 knockouts, I don't see him being champion much longer because he's still, like I said, he has too many flaws in this game. And I like him. Like I said, I like his personality. To me, I think he's exciting. For boxing, you got to pack a big punch. Right now, the heavyweight division has not been this exciting in a long time. Because you had the Klitschko's who were dominant for like 10 years, and they have, to me, a very boring, style, hit, hold. But right now, you got Deontay Wilder, who's out there knocking motherfuckers out cold. You got Luis Ortiz, another knockout artist. David Hay, like I said, he's coming back. So like I said, right now the Tyson Fury just dethroned Klitschko. So right now the heavyweight division is buzzing, you know. But again, I don't see Deontay Wilder going. Also, too, on the undercard, you had Martin versus Glasgow. Now, it's crazy. They stripped Tyson Fury of his IBF belt because he didn't fight his mandatory, because he couldn't fight his mandatory in Glasgow because Klitschko, he wanted his rematch. He had a rematch clause. So he had to fight Klitschko again. Plus it's, a money fight, and they stripped him right away. They didn't even let him fight his man. They didn't even let him do his rematch. He had a mandatory rematch with Klitschko, and the IBF stripped him right away. So now, right now, you have three heavyweight champions. You got Tyson Fury, who has the WBA, WBO belt. You have, I believe, Charles Martin, who won the IBF belt, who's also a southpaw American. He's walking with another coach that I know, Jamal Abdullah from North. I was like, damn, oh shit, Jamal Abdullah got him. You know what I mean? I know what Jamal Abdullah used to be at Red Brick Gym too, also back in the day. He's training Charles Martin, southpaw, 6'5", 250. He can look like he can box a little bit. But again, like I said, Glasgow blew his knee out, so they stripped Tyson Fury of his IBF belt. So you got him. He's a heavyweight champion. Derek Chisora called him out yesterday at the end after he won. So Glasgow was his biggest name on his resume, but he dislocated his knee or something when they was fighting. So, but again, like I said, the heavyweight division is very, very exciting now. But to say what I was saying again, I don't see Deontay Wilder being champion for much long because he got too many holes in his armor, man. I'm serious, somebody's going to expose him. Remember you heard it here first. Like I said, let's look at that fight. Very sloppy. The way he was throwing his punch. Don't get me wrong. It was a sensational knockout. Congratulations to him. I like him. You know what I mean? American heavyweight. It's exciting. But to me, like I said, he needs to get with someone that needs to show him how to fight like a real big man. You know what I mean? He's 6'7", 6'6". You know what I mean? But his balancing and his footing is horrible, man. He's just banking on that one big right hand. If they can nullify that right hand, he's in trouble. Like when you throw that long and roll with that shit, come back with your right hand, left foot, right uppercut. You know what I mean? He's gonna be in some trouble. But anyway, this is your boy Next Gen 720. I'm out of here. Bang bang.